Pick up on this.
Welcome to Attack of the Nerd Show. Yeah, it's a clip show, but it's our clip show.
That's right. And before, you go saying Attack of the Nerd Show, wait a minute, that's a little redundant, right?
Yeah. Nerds don't attack?
No, they do today. You need to check yourself. This is our look back at those moments that really made all those schoolyard beatdowns worthwhile.
Did you get beat up a lot?
I never did. Never did. Almost did once.
I don't believe you.
I really didn't.
Really?
I did. I got pushed into a locker
I almost did once, too.
But that was it.
Yeah.
And it was like we were cool after that.
They're just jealous.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Nerds. Now, in case you haven't noticed, we're a little touchy about size around here. I mean, not me, but the royal we. So to prove our virility, we kick things off in the first episode of Attack of the Show by turning something palm size into something Kong size.
Oh.
Kong.
I needed something a little bit bigger, so we put together this.
Wow!
Look at that.
Woo!
This
Marvel,
is the world's largest Nintendo controller. Yes, yes, indeed. It's 8 feet long, 3.5 feet wide, and 9 inches tall. Yeah. You like that?
Are you sure it's actually the world's largest?
I don't know. I didn't check
that.
the Guinness Book.
We didn't even put it in.
It sounds so much better, even if it's not.
The world's largest, right here, folks.
Largest.
Ain't seen one bigger.
This entire project actually took 3 people about 20 hours and $400.
It's actually not that bad.
That's not that bad. You can have one of these in your living room or whatever, but you need a couple people to play it.
I'd have to save for a few months, but could swing it.
Yeah, you could probably swing it. Now, we did run some switches from the wooden box that we showed you earlier to these giant buttons. So as you see, as we came out of that port, we actually ran it down to each of the buttons, and there's springs underneath here that connect the switch as you're pushing that create that short.
All right.
So let's go ahead and play the game and show you how it works.
It actually works.
Mario Brothers.
All right, here we go. Now watch. I'm going to hit start.
Okay, go ahead.
And we're going to boom. It actually works. Look at that. Oh,
we'll go ahead and start. There
we go. All right.
Okay.
World
so now
one of one.
I'm going to control our left and right.
All right. Are we running or what are we doing here?
All right. Go. Little monitor.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah.
mushroom. Got it.
Okay. And
go.
Jump.
Got it.
Jump over.
And this thing is sturdy, man.
Whoa,
Why'd you go?
No, you were supposed to jump. Right
I was
there.
in midair. I had no choice.
Let's
All right.
keep going.
No, down the pipe. Down the pipe.
No, I'm not going down the pipe. We don't have time.
Jump.
Wait, hold on.
What are we doing?
Get ready. Jump.
All right, go. Let's get to the flagpole. Go. Just go to the flagpole.
Hold on. Dude, this is.
What are you? All right, go.
Okay.
Go!
Okay.
You're the left and right. I got nothing. I can jump.
Sorry.
Are we really gonna?
Okay, let's do this.
All right, go. Speed run. Go. Just go. Go over the duck.
Okay, now there's 2 sets.
Just who cares? Just go.
2 sets of them.
Oh, you did it again. No, I did not.
That's your fault. Okay, last one. We promise.
All right, are we gonna jump in between, or can we just jump over them?
Okay, get ready.
Let's just jump over them entirely.
Okay.
All right, good. No, bad. Good.
Okay,
all right, good dodge. Good go.
Oh, nice.
All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. You like that? Oh, no, just run.
Go. Okay.
I got this.
Hold on.
This would be horrible for track and field.
Okay, here we go. Now,
all right, here we go.
This is the money shot right here.
Let's set up for it. All right.
Okay, we're set
Ladies
up.
and gentlemen, I'm predicting 2000.
2000?
Let's do it.
Right,
here we go.
Money shot.
Chat room, make your predictions now. In
Ready?
3, 2, 1. No, go back. Start again. Man, you fired a blank.
Ready.
All right, here we go.
Okay, money shot.
3,
and
go.
Yes!
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
That's what I'm talking
Fireworks,
about.
get the flag up. Let's see the flag go at least. Come on. That's it.
Did we get any explosions?
No. Oh,
yeah.
Well, if you would have nipped it on the first time.
If you're feeling a little inadequate, you can build one of these yourself. It's pretty easy. It just takes a bunch of time.
And a little bit of space.
We need to do a big lightsaber next time.
Yeah, let's make it more phallic. That's great. That was one of my favorite hacks we've ever done on the show. I just love it.
Well, it's a fun time. You get a partner, you play a little Super Mario.
Yeah, and it's not just Mario.
It's the first time I'll ever.
We didn't put it on television, but like track and field. There's so many fun games that even Tetris. Playing it with 2 people is so amazing. And
You've got to have a lot of trust.
You have to, or you just have to have a lot of patience when you're getting yelled at by somebody.
Right.
But those things quickly became known as like David Randolph specials, and he's one of our engineers here that really cranked out some good stuff.
He knows what he's doing.
Also got us in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I mean,
Not to brag, but it's true.
And our giant NES controller has been in some pretty cool places like E3, the inside of an art gallery, and naturally, since we flip-flop between extremes around here like a manic depressive, we had to take the NES controller in the opposite direction.
Well, apparently you haven't heard the Last of Us record books. This time, we're taking it to the opposite end of the spectrum. Please welcome our world record-holding engineer. You do have a world record for this, don't you?
Yes, I do.
David Randolph. David, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
I'm glad the viewers at home finally get to see you because you really were the mastermind behind this controller. Excellent work. It was a big hit at E3. Everybody loved it. But now you've got something new up your sleeve, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so tell us about it. Apparently, this is it right here.
Yeah.
It's almost easy to get lost on the table, but look, there it is. Size of my finger. What is that?
It's a little bit wider than an inch, about the total mass of a quarter.
This is an actual functioning controller.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Up, down, left, right, start, select, A and B.
All right, so every button works, and so this is a tiny little bad boy here, but what's in the box? What's this connected here? Are you cheating? Is this where the smoke and mirrors begin, David?
I'm cheating just a little bit.
All right, why?
Basically, the chip that's inside of the original NES controller
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit larger than my actual controller, so I
Okay.
had to put it somewhere else.
Gotcha. So this is what's inside of, this is a regular NES controller. Inside we have this, and that's the chip that you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's basically hiding it in there.
All right, so now what do you do to actually build one of these? What steps do you have to go through?
Well, I have to make a PCB out of this to actually make it all work.
Okay.
And basically, PCB is a printed circuit board.
Right. Now, to make one of those, you need a clean room and radioactive suits, and it needs to be all white, dust-free, something like that, right?
No, pretty much the most expensive tool you need is an iron.
Okay, an iron. So how does that work, really?
Well, basically, you need some paper, which is basically press and peel paper.
Okay.
And you're going to print on it the actual image that you want to put on the circuit board.
Okay, so this is what is comprised of our tiny little NES controller. This is
Just a
what
little
you
bit
printed.
smaller.
Okay. We pop it on there.
Plop it on there, and then you go ahead and iron it out.
Now, is there a particular setting you like on the iron?
I like
David?
polyester. It's coming
Polyester's
back.
good. Okay, good. Good.
So, working with that. And basically, you're going to end up with a piece of copper with this little pattern on it.
Okay.
And you're going to soak it inside of PCB etching solution. And basically, this stuff will eat straight through you, so be careful.
All right, you look like the bad guy from RoboCop.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha. So
Great
don't
images.
play with the acid. And now the acid is strong enough to eat through copper, but not through printer toner.
Exactly. It's one of those magical things of electronics.
Right. Okay. So this is the circuit board with the ironed on, and this is it after you soaked it in acid, and this is after you've cleaned off the ink from it. Correct.
Right. Just use a Brillo pad or some sandpaper, and it gets rid of the toner.
Very nice. All right. So you're done with that, and now what's the next step?
Well, the next step is I got to figure out how to make the buttons work. And basically, I did that by just taking a piece of paper and cutting out little holes for where the buttons are.
Okay.
And then I put that down on top of the PCB. And then I take this simple printout here that I made. It's nice and pretty. It's got all the buttons
Yes.
and everything we want on it. And I cover the back of it with this copper leafing.
Okay, and the copper leafing, once you push down, it pushes the leafing through the holes, the spacers that you've built, and that's what makes the contact to trigger the circuit, right?
Exactly.
Very nice. So we're going to do a little two-player 100-meter dash here.
You ready?
I am getting ready. I hope my sticks are in the right spot. Hold on. And don't jump the gun, Gore. Ready? Go.
Here we go.
All right.
Hold that little thing.
Ah, come on. Come on.
Come on.
Run.
Like behind.
I'm hitting it. I'm hitting it.
What's the matter? What's the matter?
You stop, too. Yeah, what's the matter with you? Hold on. You got a cramp, but I still have potential.
You're right.
Hold on. Make it dramatic for television. Stall. Stall, Gore. Stall. Make it dramatic for...
No! In your face, KP! I beat you! I beat you!
This controller sucks! David! Sorry. It's actually... No, it totally works. I'm not really good.
Really? Really? Do we have time for a rematch?
We don't have time for a rematch.
don't have time for a
Chris.
rematch?
Nope. I'll let you go out on top. That's fine.
Kevin, I don't know. You seemed kind of beat there.
I was definitely owned, but here it is right here, very tiny.
It's
it
so
does work.
cute.
You know, the thing is, like when we play with it, like the little chopsticks. You know, this is just a little printout of a Nintendo controller on the end of this bad boy. You know, it's like so not very sturdy. So when you start pushing on it, sometimes the contact shifts from side to side, and that's what was happening there. I'm not blaming anybody.
Sounds like an excuse.
It's not an excuse, Sarah.
An excuse
Sarah,
for failure.
it's an explanation.
Okay. Fair enough.
Thanks.
I don't think
love
this
this
got
thing.
us in any record books, but
Yeah.
it did almost choke a staff member's dog, and that's saying something.
True story, and 3 interns. Coming up after this predetermined rest period, we recall that time I invaded the offices of Adult Swim in Hotlanta.
Hot Lana.
Yeah, it's Attack of the Nerd Show, and we're getting nerdier and nerdier. Stick around.
to Attack of the Nerd Show, the only show that still routinely receives wedgies, Kevin.
Yes, I know.
And it hurts.
Painful.
Yeah.
Right into the throat.
Ooh.
They say that this business is really all about the personal connections that you make, right?
Yeah.
It's BS, sure. But I still treasure the friends that I made at a little place called William Street.
Ah, yes.
Dave, tell me about how Aqua Teen is assembled.
Dave and Matt write the scripts, and amazingly, they can generally crank out a script in a day or two.
The hardest part really is to find out the idea, you know, to come up with the idea that sort of ties it together. Once we have the idea, then it comes pretty naturally.
Last time you were here, you threw me out an old lady's mailbox and you made me Moon Boy Scout Troop 324.
We did.
Well, this time we won't.
Okay, cool. Let me just go get my keys.
So Dave and Matt supervise the voiceovers, and as they do that, the show is kind of being rewritten and improved. And we're able to do that because we do everything here at William Street. We set up a system that is easily manipulated so that we can at any time change something.
I play from the Moon and Knights, and I play the Cybernetic Ghosts. Occasionally I do Satan.
I do Carl, I do Meatwad, and I do Ignignot, the green Moonanite, as opposed to Matt's the purple Moonanite.
This pornography is infinitely excellent. This dresser, however, is very boring.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Torch the dresser, Meatwad.
But this is where Carl keeps his clothes.
Look, these women don't have any clothes, and they're not complaining.
Yeah, man, they're kissing each other.
Kevin Pereira. What kind of name is that? Is that American? I don't think so. They tell me you're a little bit of metrosexual. I don't know what that means, you know, half gay. What's that?
He had the courtesy to shake my hand and say, "Thank you, sir," and look me in the eye. I have nothing but the highest regard for Kevin Pereira.
So what I'm given to edit with in Final Cut Pro is a QuickTime of everything that a character does. So to date, probably every of the main 4 characters, Master Shake, Meatwad, Frylock, and Carl, there's probably less than 5 minutes of total animation of everything that they've ever done. And I keep a library of that and recycle that for every new show. Because it's a show for adults, it's really more about the dialogue than the flashy colors and flashy animation that you would need to keep the attention of a kid. And thankfully the writing is so great that we can get away with that.
Yeah, Frylock, we was just reading.
This is pornography.
Uh-oh.
Where on earth did you get this, Meatwad?
Yeah, where? I gotta confiscate this. Give it all to me. I need to learn how to read. Back here.
At Radical Access, they do the After Effects, the finalizing of the video. We had a campfire that we shot 5 years ago. We used that as explosions.
Oh, no.
It's been in every show for the last 6 years.
Yeah, we shot it in the woods, and then we just sort of keyed it out very roughly. And whenever a character is on fire, which is usually
all the time,
we'll sort of paste that campfire on there. It represents chaos.
Who bothered to spawn you? And why? You know what I'm saying?
No.
This is the script for the Aqua Teen Hunger Force feature film. Normally our scripts are about 11, 12, 13 pages. This is a whopping 81 pages.
The movie is an action piece that leads sort of in...
An action piece.
It is. It's an action piece, and
Okay.
it leads sort of into a meandering origin story told in a very Aqua Teen way.
We need someone to play a mysterious character, the 4th Aqua Teen.
Yeah. Get to see the 4th Aqua Teen.
By the end of 2005, you'll see the Aqua Teen Hunger Force feature film.
Tell him the end. Tell him what happens at the end.
Frylock's a woman.
He's a woman. Can you
Heard
believe
it
that?
here first.
Good times.
Kevin begged and pleaded for a job, and yet here he is still.
But I have my Meatwad.
Aww.
That's all I need.
Meatwad's a little smoother this time around.
Yeah. It's good for volleys, not so much for comedic effect. Now, when Attack of the Nerd Show,
Yes.
pauses for a few minutes to put in its retainer, we'll reintroduce you to Make Magazine's Philip Tyrone. You remember Philip, right?
Good guy.
Good guy, real good guy. Yeah. Philip Tyrone from Make Magazine, he's really a favorite guest of ours.
He is.
Because, you know, he brings us robots and stuff made out of household items. It really doesn't take much to impress.
Here with some of Make Magazine's latest featured projects as associate editor, Philip Tyrone. Philip, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We're all big fans of the magazine here. We love the magazine itself. We love the blog. Everything about it is great. What's the philosophy behind it, though? Like, how do you describe the Make Magazine to everybody?
Well, Make is for people who like to bend and twist technology. Maybe they have technology that's old and discarded and they want to do something else with it. Maybe they just have something that they just don't know what to do with it, and they need to turn to people and say, I've got this thing. What else can I do? What can I twist it into?
Let's wrap the banana in ham. There you go. That's clearly a project.
We might not cover that. But,
Right, yeah,
but
and you shouldn't. We got it covered, believe me. 2 at a time, even. First of all, we'll start off with this thing. And, you know, this, I mean, you flew here today. And I'm assuming that a device like this might not go over so well when they're searching through your bags, right?
Turns out it looks exactly like a bomb under the X-ray.
There you go. Well, now, what is this thing exactly, though?
It's Mousy the Junk Bot, and Mousy the Junk Bot is made from a lot of different parts. It's a beam robot, so he doesn't require any programming, but he'll do things like follow light or heat or sound, and you can make him out of an old mouse, and actually all the folks who are watching the show can download the how-to on how to do this.
Oh, wow. So you're providing them with all the info on how to do this?
Yep, right out of Make Magazine. They can download it and build one this weekend.
Very cool. Now, how complex, though? I mean, what are we talking, like, price-wise and time-wise?
You know, 20 bucks, you might have a lot of that stuff procured out of other old electronics.
Sure.
We've encouraged that a lot. And, you know, maybe a weekend project.
Very nice. Light-seeking robot. Cool. Now, this one's interesting here. I don't want to, like, you know, burst your bubble or anything, but the rotary telephone has been around for a while.
Darn.
Yeah, you know, these have existed. They're actually kind of phased out. So why the rotary phone? What are we doing with this?
Well, one of the things you notice, just like the computers are going into different form factors from yesteryear, this actually is a cell phone. So I put my GSM card inside here. This is phone guts. There's a company called Spark Electronics who makes all these parts, and this is a GSM telephone. And you can dial it and use it exactly like a regular cell phone. You do need to do things like, you know, use the dialer and actually go through all of the old dialing patterns of yesteryear, but it works exactly like a cell phone. It rings.
Now, did you yank this out of an actual cell phone, or is this a separate board that you can buy from somewhere?
You could, but this is a separate board that they use for...
There it goes. All right. So the cell phone works. This is me actually calling your cell phone. That's brilliant. I'll hang up. We got it. That's
It's for you.
And so rotary cell phone, it's now portable. Now, I mean, hacking this seems like something that's complex. Is that something you did, or is this a company that provides you with this?
A company is making this, but what they're doing is filling a need for these makers out there who want something a little bit more, a little bit different, something that maybe is just a phone but still has this nostalgia and still has this how-to spirit behind it.
Very cool. And all this available online, parts-wise?
Yep.
Very cool. All right, so that's the rotary cell phone. Very, very neat little hack there. We'll push this off to the side, because this one... Now, I've seen a Libre before. I've seen an ebook before.
Right.
What's hacked about this? Because, I mean, didn't these kind of get faded out?
They didn't do so well in Japan. They had a lot of DRMs. So we have the how-tos on Make, and we're seeing that a lot of people are buying these now because the firmware has been hacked. It's been turned to English. You don't have to use the DRM that's been applied to it. Your books won't expire in 30 days.
Yeah, is that the reason these didn't catch on? Was because, like, you buy a book and then 30 days later in the middle of reading it, it's like, no, it's deleted.
Would you buy a book if you knew someone was going to yoink it from you in 30 days?
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly. So the hackers have kind of taken this technology back, and they're promoting it, and now they're getting popular again. And they're discontinued.
Oh, yeah, so where are we finding these now? On eBay?
eBay, people in Japan, all over, but they're becoming a really good commodity, so find one now.
Yeah,
the how-tos on how to make
and it looks awesome. I mean, really in person, it's a really, really incredible little device. So cool. And then finally, this thing has been intimidating everybody in our studio. It's not a lightsaber, but it can do more damage than the fake plastic ones that most people think are cool.
Right.
This is a green laser?
This is a 161 milliwatt green laser, and sometimes we just like to review fun stuff and kind of teach science and other things. And this is a really neat laser. You can use it to go and point out stars. You can do all sorts of things.
But see, that almost seems useful. I would rather hand you these bad boys here and say, so it's powerful enough to actually pop a balloon.
Yeah, we should be able to pop a red balloon. Just power it up.
Just to call it out, it's so like dangerous that you need 2 separate keys to actually turn it on, right?
Exactly.
All right, so here it is. Laser's turning on.
Yeah,
oh! Look at that! Brilliant! Keep them going. Yeah!
See if I can do third.
One more. Oh, it's actually. Whoa! That one like burnt a hole in it. Bam!
Only lost one finger.
It's brilliant. So if you really hate kids, you should get one of these and hang out in trees and ruin their birthday parties, right?
Especially if they have red hair.
Yes, there you go. No, this really is dangerous. How do we get our hands on one of these, though? Because our audience shouldn't have these.
Right. Well, like all great things, like prescription drugs and Cuban cigars, you can get it in Canada.
Brilliant. There you go. Look for it online. Philip, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You wouldn't think so, but popping balloons with a laser Most fun I've had in a long time.
I've never seen you so happy as you were that day.
Oh, you have.
Talked about it.
You have.
Well,
Twice, actually. Do you don't remember the cement trunk?
They don't know.
That's true. Phil, sadly, he packed up all those toys, you remember? To put them in his little bag and left without leaving any of them for us.
Why, Phil? What, did we say something wrong?
I don't know, but remember when I said that he was one of our favorite guests?
I do remember
yeah,
that.
Screw that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, I know you well enough by now that if I say hot chick licking a PSP and cool Japanese robots, you'll come running back, which is good because Jessica Chobot and Super #1 Robot are up next.
Woo!
Welcome back. We're in the middle of celebrating the show's nerdiest moments.
Yeah.
I know, seriously, it could have been a mini-series.
Pretty much. Now, we, or at least I, fondly remember Jessica Chobot, video game writer and infamous PSP licker. Good times. She came on the show and left drooling fanboys in her wake.
The game is Unreal Tournament 2004, and our guest is the lovely Jessica Chobot, known to gamers as Hatsumi, but probably known even more for licking her PSP and then putting the picture on the internet. How did that happen, Jess?
That was actually a joke. I had pre-ordered the PSP earlier that day and wanted to pick it up. Didn't want to have to wait in line, so I ran over there and had a photo shoot that afternoon. So
a photo shoot with the PSP, or?
No, just a generic photo shoot.
Gotcha.
Went to the photo shoot, and during a break in the thing, I asked them if they'd take a picture. And so they said, why? And I said, because it's cool and it's new and I bought it and I want a picture with it. So they took a picture of it, sent it to me later that afternoon, and I went ahead and used it to send it to my friends saying, haha, I have the PSP before you.
Right.
And
of
so,
course, licking it was a sign of appreciation for Sony, or just a weird gadget fetish?
It was a gadget fetish.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing for Sony.
I was holding out for that answer.
Yeah, it wasn't an ad. It was strictly all me.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, were you surprised by the attention? I mean, did you get a lot of creepy emails or people licking their PSPs and sending them to you? I mean, it kind of blew up.
No, not so much creepy emails as debating. A lot of forums had it posted, and that caused apparently quite a stir.
Now, what was there to debate? I mean, girl, lick, PSP, done. I'm sold. Like, I'll pay for that.
Well, that was the weird thing, is that it went from everywhere from biblical references to females rolled in the Bible to this is a Sony ploy and this girl doesn't even exist.
Ah, okay. So they thought you were like a viral marketing campaign.
Yes.
You're like, no, I just really like the taste of plastic.
Yes, and
Gotcha.
nobody believed that. Nobody believed that.
Fair enough.
So
now, if you don't mind, we can't let you go without seeing how knowledgeable your tongue really is. So we've got a blind taste test for you, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
No one actually wanted to do this. I just really wanted to see you in a blindfold. So if you could get that on, let's do that, and then we'll begin the ploy of the taste test. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start things off here. Let's start off with an easy one. This should be a no-brainer for you. Can you tell me what this gadget is here, Jess? I love this job, I got to admit. Yeah? She's okay. This is... I should probably limit the amount of time you have to taste it.
And these are all handhelds, right?
These are all handhelds. We're not trying to trick you here. Do you want one more? You got one more.
I'll take one more
You got
taste.
one more taste.
One more
Go
taste.
ahead. Take your time with it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm guessing PSP.
That is a PSP. The face buttons were a dead giveaway.
Yep.
You owe me for that. You're not getting 2 licks on this next one here. This should be really simple. We gotta go a little quicker with this one. Yeah. Right in there. Yeah. Take your time with that. Yeah.
Game Boy Advanced?
Ooh, it's actually the DS.
Ooh.
That's a Game Boy DS. Sorry.
But it was Nintendo.
It was Nintendo. You got the creator correct.
Which was the only
This one, this is a bit of a curveball. It is a gaming system though. We're not trying to fool you entirely. I'll set it up. Give you an easy taste test. Here you go, Jazz. Can we get a little closer on that? Can you do that one more time just for me? And I'm gonna step out there. Yeah, there. Okay. Yep. Many people say
Engage?
It is an Engage. I didn't even have to do the taco joke. Awesome job. Wow.
Thanks.
People are impressed. We've had guests on, you can take the blindfold off. We've had guests on who have created hydrogen power cars and who've helped solve poverty. But guessing the Engage with your tongue really was the one that sold them.
That's the proof.
It's an incredible talent.
Thank
I
you.
need a few minutes to myself, but thank you, Jessica, and
Absolutely.
please continue enjoying the game. That was
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah, we never actually had a guest that solved poverty.
But she was impressed.
She was impressed.
And she went and had a drink with you
Never
later,
feel
so
welcome, too.
it was all worth it.
She licked every single electronic device I had on my person and in my car Really weird. It's rare that I get crushes on guests, but Jessica, all right, and Bruce Campbell, a little bit, a little bit.
Now, whenever we hear the words toy robots and Japan in the same sentence, we pretty much tune out everything else, which is why we had the guys behind the art book, Super #1 Robot, on the show, and failed to hear a single word they said.
I forgot we had them on.
Yeah.
Face it, if you want giant robots, you go to Japan or you go nowhere. And no one knows that better than the guys behind Super #1 Robot. Joining me is photographer Tim Briscoe and co-author Robert Dubin. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
First of all, let's settle a little debate that we've been having. What is the better Voltron?
Oh, you got to go with the Lion Voltron. The vehicle's got no game.
Yeah, Lion Voltron all the way, man.
Cue angry forum posts right now. You're going to get hate mail.
I'm sure.
I want you to know that. But that's okay. Now we're talking about these robots here. Fascinating stuff from the 70s to the 80s. You guys chronicled everything that is Japanese robots. Why in particular Japanese robots? You know, I know there was a great line that the Portuguese, released, and North America was huge. But why the Japanese?
Well, Japanese robots are just the best. I mean, you can kind of take a look for yourself, but between the eras the book has run from 72 to 82, they were just robot crazy in Japan. So, producing a lot of stuff, and it's just it's great. It's like little artworks now.
Right.
There's such a very barrage of aesthetics going at play here. I mean, you've got crazy, wacky super robots that are all shiny and curved. Most of this stuff is made out of die-cast metal. Some of it's vinyl, and some of it is made out of plastic, but basically you've got all these hardcore primary colors, you've got all these sharp pointy bits, launching fists, launching missiles. I mean, what could be cooler than
Visual
that?
barrage.
Yeah, and you said that some of them are like die cast and harsh metal. Others are like, I think you called this one a dog's chew toy.
Yes,
or a dog's
yes
plaything.
indeed. Minus the squeaker, but if you want, you can cut it up and put your own squeaker
Easily
in.
modded, not a problem. We'll get right on that hack.
Yeah,
now where are these robots from? Are they all original creations, or are these plucked from comic books and movies?
They're all from TV shows. Yeah, mostly animated, but some live action. But yeah, they're all characters based on TV shows throughout the 70s and early 80s.
I want to get back to the book because when I think pictures of robotic toys, from childhoods, I imagine they're going to be buried in sandboxes, or you're going to have little kids playing with them and Photoshop some lasers. But you've actually taken a much different approach and sort of treated them like individual art pieces. Was that intentional?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically, I wanted to give them a very austere treatment. I wanted to present them more like they were art objects that maybe you'd see in a museum catalog or something like that. Very intimate relationship and an intimate setting with the toys, making them sort of larger than life, sort of rendered in really beautiful light.
Kind of reverential quality almost,
Yeah, and you don't have to be, and because of that approach, you don't have to be a collector to necessarily appreciate everything there is in this book, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think that's just it. We're kind of aiming at people who might not necessarily even be familiar with the characters at all, that just think, wow, these are cool, because they're so striking.
Our audience is already like, oh, shiny distracted. Boom, they're there. They don't even know you guys are on the couch right now.
The shoe-in group is like the collector community. They know we're doing the book. We have ins with them. So all those guys already have the book. What we're really interested in is getting the word out to people who are kind of on the fringe of the design community and art community, who might have some interest in the visual aesthetics of the pieces, but maybe not necessarily them as toys or as collectible items.
And do you guys have a particular favorite? Do any of these stand the test of time for you?
Yeah, personally, I'm very partial to this guy right here. This is the Mecha Kong. He's he's on the cover of the book, as a matter of fact, and he's got a really wacky vibe. He's got all kinds of sharp, pointy bits.
What are these here?
Those are the launching nipple blades of doom.
Yes.
One click flick on the back. I mean, be sure where you point that. But
I will stay away from the projectile nipples. But I approve. And where's this guy from? What year?
That one is from 78.
Yeah, something like that.
78.
Some very dated stuff. That's awesome.
And in fact, I'm sorry, the gentleman who wrote the afterword for the book is actually the creator of that particular piece.
Right. We were able to hook up with Saburo Ishizuki, is the president of a company that made that toy way back when. So
it's amazing stuff. I got to congratulate you on the book. I mean, we're all big fans around the office, so hopefully the viewers out there will go pick it up and slap it on the coffee table.
We hope so too.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. Good toys.
Good toys.
Good stuff.
Not enough toys like that anymore. They just don't make them like they used to.
They don't. No, they're all like kind of vinyl and glossy, and I like the
cheap siding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't like that anymore. Good guess.
Super #1 Robot, as you can see, made good on its claim of being super and number one. And even about robots.
That's a trifecta. They're 3 for 3. Batting 1,000.
They call that perfect.
Triple threat.
Yeah.
All right, nerds, you have 2 minutes to suck down that Sunny D and then blog about it. But when we come back, Channel 101's Rob Schraub makes special effects magic for less than the price of a tasty sandwich.
I love Sammys.
Rob Schraub. He makes goofy videos starring handmade puppets. And I know it's like, you know, you say that, it's almost like the guy came out of some like perfect AOTS guest generator, right?
Yeah, I mean, how could that be?
Well, it is. It just is. Don't question it. Here he gives us a look at his creative process.
Today we're going to build a prop for a short that I'm going to make. We're going to make an alien newscaster. First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a picture of what it's going to look like. Let's start off with what we have right here in front of us. Since I got a ton of these water bottles, we'll use this as the beginning of it. For the eye, because I want the eye looking around, I'm going to use this roll-on that we just bought at the grocery store. And what do we got there? We got something that looks very much like an eyeball. Starting to see vents come together here. Touch and foam, minimal expanding sealant. You can get this at any hardware store. So it turns into kind of like almost styrofoam. So now, what we're gonna do is gonna make the teeth. This is super sculpty. You can get this at any art supply store. Okay, so that was the tentacle. I just wrapped enough masking tape around the wire. So I'm gluing these on there like that. And once I paint it and everything, it should look like this.
So you can see that. So this eyeball lights up.
Coming up tonight, deadly meteors descend upon Calgon 7, and a soft drink that can turn you into a Largazoid? But first, here's Joyce with the weather. The want to make it work makes you figure it out, you know, and that's half of the fun. You know how it is, you know, I was like, oh, that's like totally makes everything worth it.
News Scene 11, the 10 o'clock report with Vince Temecula.
Good evening. Coming up tonight, deadly meteors descend upon Calgon 7. A giant carnivore attacks Gamma Central, and a soft drink that can turn you into a Largazoid? But first, here's Joyce with the weather.
On Saturday, a rift in time and space will tear through 9 parsecs of the Vegan quadrant, annihilating all sentient life forms. So be sure to wear a raincoat, or you will drown in the blood of your children.
Wow. And you did all the voices for that, right?
I did all the voices
you did
for that.
everything
It's
for that.
yeah, that's all in my apartment. You just shoot it in front of the green screen all by yourself. Just me and my camera.
You got a lot of time on your hands, Rob.
I'm very lonely, Brendan.
Now tell us what you've brought as well. You've got dinosaurs.
Let's do some Martha Stewart for nerds here. I also bought this at like a toy store. It's just you know, your simple
run-of-the-mill dinosaur.
Run-of-the-mill dinosaur.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Kind of cool. I took an X-Acto blade and then I very carefully peeled off the skin, revealing the Terminator endoskeleton underneath there, and got the hot glue and went.
Shazam!
There you go. I shrabified this up.
Shrabified?
Shrabified it up, and there you go. Check this out.
And of course
And of course it doesn't work.
Well, he's remote control. Oh, look.
Yeah. Oh.
Sound effects included.
Daddy liked that, doesn't he, Brendan?
Now, what's the You've got a lot of attention to detail on here, Rob.
Dude, watch it, man. Those are toothpicks.
Very impressive.
So there's toothpicks and cardboard and bottle caps from water bottles and a whole bunch of stuff.
Creative genius, Rob Schraub. Thank you, Rob, for being on the show.
Thank you.
If you want to see any more shows on Channel 101, including the House of Cosby's that Rob's involved with, go to channel101.com. Or if you just want to see more of this handsome guy, check out robschraub.com. Brendan thinks he's handsome, apparently.
He likes him a lot.
You know, some people look at Rob and they say, the guy is clearly like a bald shut-in, a bit of a recluse, has no friends, tons of free time on his hands.
Only friends with his Dremel tools.
Exactly, and a green screen.
Yeah.
But I like to think of Rob as all those things and creative.
Creative guys, they're always #1 in my book.
He's going to hate me. Rob is really, I mean, truly, in case you didn't notice, brilliant. I mean, the guy is as gifted as can be.
Extremely, yeah, he knows how to build a Tyrannosaurus Rex that moves around.
Exactly. And the Channel 101 stuff,
Channel
I mean,
101 stuff.
still alive and still kicking.
Yeah.
And really funny. So, good times. Congrats, Rob, and of course, thank you for visiting our set.
Thanks, Rob. Now, Rob's been doing a lot of work on the upcoming Tenacious D movie,
Yes.
so I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to have him back if
so.
he'll have us. Now, I don't care if you're getting behind on your Ultimate Fantastic Four reading, but stick with us, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creator Kevin Eastman stakes his claim to nerd immortality next.
So there's this guy, and he created this comic about turtle ninjas, and he made so much money that he actually bought Heavy Metal magazine, and it's Kevin Eastman.
Yeah.
Geek icon, great AOTS guest. Heavy Metal magazine, for many of us, it's kind of like, well, pornography training wheels. For me, it's kind of like an introduction into that whole realm, but there's so much more. I'm told there's comics in there as well.
Yes.
What is that? Tell me about your history with Heavy Metal magazine.
No, it's so funny because I was a huge fan of the magazine. I bought the first issue of the magazine off the newsstands in 1977. It was the same thing. I was a fan of, like, you know, Spider-Man, Sergeant Rock, Daredevil, all those things. And then about the time that I was starting to grow out of, you know, those comics because they felt kind of adolescent, here came Heavy Metal. And, you know, I had comics with breasts. And, but once you get beyond...
Thank you for that, by the way. No, but
beyond that,
it's
like,
so much more than that.
It really is. It's like the stories, I think, are very intellectual. They're very, you know, science fiction based. You know, years ago when the Comics Code Authority really kind of squashed what comics were here in the States, which is comics for kids, the Europeans really kind of excelled. They were inspired by what was done here in the U.S. and they kind of excelled. So I think they carry the medium much farther than we were able to here for a number of reasons. And I think that's why it's the staple that it is and as successful as it is.
I think it's interesting. You bought the first issue off of newsstands when it was out. Now, see, I bought a copy of DOS and a copy of Windows when I was younger at some point, but I never think of actually kicking Bill Gates out of the boardroom and taking over the Microsoft operation. But you are now in charge of Heavy Metal, right?
Well, fortunately, because, you know, my first creation, which actually was inspired, oddly enough, by Heavy Metal magazine, a lot of the artists that I found in Heavy Metal magazine from the early issues were self-publishers as well. And so what I found in Heavy Metal magazine led me to sort of seek out these other artists and writers that self-published their own work, which, you know, they could write the stories they wanted to, they could tell the stories they wanted to, no editorial control, that kind of thing, and no restrictions. And so the first comic I wanted to do was something that I published myself and could do it exactly the way I wanted to, which was the Turtles, which was successful, which oddly enough made enough money so I could actually buy Heavy Metal magazine back in 1991.
First of all, my prepubescent years going into adolescence, thank you for April O'Neil. We'll leave that at that. But I want to talk, you know, it's been 20 years, you know, over 20 years for these Turtles. You know, tell me about the progression of them and where you see them, and, you know, going from here.
Well, what's interesting is, I mean, that the Turtles started as an inspiration of my love of comics. That's since I read my first comic book when I was like 7 years old. That's all I wanted to do for a living, and you know, fortunately, you know, I was one of the very, very, very lucky few that the first issue I did was the Turtles. With my partner Peter Laird is a co-creator of the Turtles, and we self-published it and had a success. And you know,
not a lot of people self-publishing and actually getting success around that time, right?
No, not at all. It was like there was only a couple other comics at that time that were actually inspirational to us. One was Dave Sims' Cerebus. The other one was a comic by Wendy and Richard Peeney called ElfQuest. And, you know, the self-publishing market had been undergrounds before, and it was now sort of reaching a new kind of mainstream level. And, you know, we published it as a joke. I mean, the first issue we published 3,000 copies. That was it. We had a $500 income tax return that I had. I borrowed $1,000 from an uncle. We cleared out Pete's bank account of $200.
But literally a joke that blossomed into an empire.
Totally, it was a joke. I mean,
because we're trying to repeat that success with Attack of the Show, but people still haven't gotten the joke apparently. So
cool.
we're hanging in there.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
But it did. It started as a joke, and we really combined. If you think, you know, Teenage Mutants, which were, you know, the X-Men, and that's my cell phone beeping. Right. Excuse me. You know, we combined, you know, the X-Men, the New Mutants comics that we're doing, animal characters, which are always popular, ninjas, you know, from Bruce Lee.
Well, and now a new movie though, too, right?
Yes, we've done 300 cartoon episodes, 26 live-action episodes, 3 live-action movies, and now about 2.5 years ago we relaunched the Turtles when kind of nostalgia became popular again, and it became again a very successful kids show, which is, to me, it's like it was a big enough a compliment the first time around when the Turtles came up and were successful.
Sure.
And the fact that they've come around a second time and found a whole new audience of kids, that to me is beyond phenomenal. And yeah, so we signed a deal with Warner Brothers, and we're doing a new live-action, a new CG Turtles.
CG live-action mashup mix of all sorts of media.
You know, we wanted to do a live-action with CG characters, which was the original desire, but it's we drifted towards it's going to be a full CG animated movie.
Oh, congrats! And what's up next for you here? What's this bad boy hanging out?
This is actually very exciting. It's one of the out of Heavy Metal Magazine, we do a number of purchased properties plus original stuff, and this is something I created with a British artist named Simon Bisley, and it's called Fistful of Blood, which is inspired by the original movie by Akira Kurosawa called Yojimbo, which then was remade by Sergio Leone into Fistful of Dollars, which then was remade by Walter Hill called Last Man Standing. And I've taken this concept, which I loved as a movie as a kid, and rewrote it heavy metal style, where the lead samurai actor character is a female, large-breasted, big guns.
Of course. Say no more. Say no more. You just sold another 500 copies of it out there.
And she goes into this town, and there's sort of there's vampires on one. There's two gangs. There's vampires on one side of the town, zombies on the other, and a family trapped in the middle. And sort of she helps take care of business.
Very nice.
Heavy metal style.
Kevin, congrats on all the success,
Thanks
and I know
very
you
much.
have many more years left. Thank you again for joining us on the couch.
A god amongst nerds.
Kevin Eastman. Now, he suffered through a barrage of questions from our staff. What about ninja ferrets? What about ninja hummingbirds? All with a smile, and we admire him for that.
You want to play turtles?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know how to play turtles. I'm
Raphael. What's your
true story.
name?
I begged my mother for Donatello, who's my favorite. Begged her for the Donatello toy about the time that the movie came out and they were really getting popular. She comes back from Target with Splinter. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, she buys the rat and the kimono.
Kevin, you're
That's all
such
I'm
an
saying.
ungrateful child. No wonder you're so screwed
I
up.
slapped her 6 times in the face. You better believe it. Nasty woman. Hey, thanks for joining us on this trip down Amnesia Lane, but don't run off yet. No, we wrap things up by talking about a few more nerdy Attack of the Show moments that you missed. You know, it's just like every other show.
Attack of the Show, baby. Attack.
All right, the kids on the street are talking. They're saying that we have viewers. I don't
No.
buy it, but let's pretend that we do and check in and see what they picked as their favorite AOTS geek out moment.
All right, this is what you thought. El Zorro says our geekiest moment was when Kevin banned a forum member live on the show.
Man.
Remember that, Kevin? That was wild.
For those who didn't see it, I loaded the forums. I was looking at this guy's post, and I was like, this guy's
He's out of line.
a little special, a little bit of a jerk ass. I found his IP address, clicked the little mouse, banned him.
And so what happened next?
I unbanned him the next day.
Oh, well, that's nice
Kind of
you.
anticlimactic.
Are you guys friends now?
No.
Oh,
no.
All right. Bob Pook picked the Geek Shopping Network segment.
That was fun.
That was you and old Sean Baby.
Yep, Mr. Sean Baby. He was guest hosting for the week.
You got to wear wigs.
We wore wigs.
It
We
was a
wore
good
bad
time.
blazers.
Had
It was-
by all.
We did.
Were you wearing this blazer?
I don't think it was. No, it was a yellow one.
Something like it.
It was
Something
more
like
like
it.
from Jimmy the Geek's
You guys
wardrobe.
looked pretty nice, though, and you did really well. I think you've got a future on the Home Shopping Network.
I hope so. One can. I want the Dominique hour. That's all I'm saying.
Who doesn't?
I'm gunning for Denise.
Jordan Haas called out our Ultimate Gaming Machine segments as the nerdiest AOTS moment.
Yeah,
So
I mean-
a few segments make up a single moment.
Those, yeah.
To Jordan.
The reveal wasn't very nerdy. I mean, we had confetti. That's not particularly nerdy. But talking about RAM and clock timings and yada yada is a little bit nerdy.
You're nerding out on me, man. I don't
Pretty
know what
much.
you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
Jay Detonay liked our super cheap widescreen mod, as did I.
I really
Jay
liked
Detonay.
it. We didn't really explain why you would want to do it, but it was really good. That's all. We're done nerding it up.
Bye, everybody.
Smells
Thanks for
like-
joining us.
smells
Nerds
like
for
feet.
life.
Nerd power. That was to you.
Computers on Attack of the Show provided by Intel. Game on. Power up. Take control with the Intel Pentium Processor Extreme Edition.